for the Lord your God is with you. Be bold, be strong, for the Lord your God is with you. I am not afraid, no, I am not dismayed, not me, for I'm walking in faith and victory. Come on and walk in faith and victory, for the Lord your God is with you. Be bold, be strong, for the Lord your God is with you. Be bold, be strong, for the Lord your God is with you. I am not afraid, no, I am not dismayed, not me, for I'm walking in faith and victory. Come on and walk in faith and victory, for the Lord your God is with you. Well, that was lots of fun. Nice that you could join me today. I thought I would wear a scarf today because it can be a little windy out on a boat. Well, today's story is about someone who was bold and brave and then wasn't. He started to trust Jesus and then he didn't. I'm going to read you this. I'm just going to turn that away. We don't need it. And I'm going to read you this story. It's called The Little Boat That Almost Sank. Remember last week's story when Jesus had to feed all those 5,000? He and his disciples fed all those 5,000 when he really had just wanted to go away and rest. And well, now the evening's done and people are going and Jesus wants to have his rest time. And so he tells his disciples, I will send the crowds away, and then I must go into hills alone to talk to God. You men row across the lake in your boat, and I will meet you after a while. Oh, I should show you the picture. There we go. I will shove the boat off, said James to his friends, and they took up the oars. The only sound was the soft sound of wind whooshing the waves and the soft slap of oars dipping in the water. The wind is getting worse, said John after they had rowed for a bit. We want to make our boat go one way, but the wind is starting to push it another. By then, the sound of the wind had become like the roar of an angry lion. The little waves turned to big waves, and the big waves thumped and bumped and rocked the boat and splashed water into it. I'm scared. Whoops, I keep forgetting to show you the pictures. Okay. I'm scared, shouted Andrew above the noise of the wind and the boom of the waves. I am a fisherman. I've been in rough waters many times, but this is terrible. I'm scared. I am too, shouted Peter. If Jesus were here, I would not feel so scared. I wish he had come with us, called another man, wet and trembling and afraid. That looks quite the storm. When Jesus looked out from the top of the hill, he could see the boat rocking in the moonlight and all of the men pulling hard at the oars. That is a strong wind, he said to himself. It is the middle of the night and they are getting nowhere. They must be wet and cold and frightened. Down the hill went Jesus, down the hill over the rocks and down into the dark until he got to the shore. The wind hissed and the waves roared and the little boat rocked and the men trembled, afraid. Then they saw Jesus walking toward them on the water. They were stiff with fear. A ghost, they screamed. The storm is bad enough, but now a ghost. But over the hiss of the winds and the boom of the waves and the cries of the men came a voice that they knew. It is I. Do not be afraid. Oh, Jesus, Jesus, called Peter. If that is really you, please tell me to come to you on the water. In the darkness, above the roar of the wind, Jesus said quietly, "Come, Peter, come." Peter climbed over the side of the boat, and looking ahead at Jesus, he felt brave. He took some steps out on the water, but suddenly the waves thundered in his ears, and instead of looking at Jesus, he looked down. Oh dear, I wonder what's going to happen. "I cannot do it," he thought to himself, and he began to sink. "Lord, help!" he cried. Jesus quickly stretched out his arm and caught him. "Peter, Peter, you thought you could not do it? Why don't you have more faith in me?" Whoops. There's the picture. Together they climbed into the boat. The wind stopped roaring, and the waves stopped pounding, and the boat stopped rocking, and there came again the gentle whoosh of the waves and the soft slap of the oars dipping in the water. "Jesus," whispered Peter and Andrew and all of the men, "you can make a storm go away. You can make the winds hush. When you are with us, we are not afraid." Now, this is one of the stories that you like to tell the kids. Don't do this at home. When Jesus is saying, "Get out of the boat and walk on the water," he is not telling you to get in a boat and hop out, try to walk on the water. It's not what he's saying. No, but I like the last sentence in this book. "When you are with us, we are not afraid." Well, God wants you to know that he is always with you, and we need not be afraid. Remember last week how he invites us to join him in doing his kingdom work? Well, with this story, he wants us to know that we shouldn't be afraid to do the tasks that he calls us to do. Just like last week's story, that impossible task indeed, feeding thousands of people with just 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread. This week, Jesus' disciples were out on a boat in a storm. I can imagine it was a bit scary. Those storms at sea can be pretty wild. And then Peter, so funny, calling out, "If you are truly Jesus, invite me to come out and join you." And Jesus says, "Come." Now, talk about an impossible task, walking on the water. But Peter didn't keep looking at Jesus. He got distracted by the stormy waters around him, and he stopped trusting. But Jesus reached out his hand. God promises to always be with us, holding our hand, being there with us, and giving us the strength to go through whatever life throws at us. 2 great stories about having faith, trusting in God. Be bold, be strong, for the Lord your God is with you. Keep your focus on Jesus and being a follower of Jesus. Well, today for our craft, we're going to make a boat. And hopefully it'll be one that floats. Maybe you want to take it down to the beach with you sometime. Now, I had it in my head that I was going to build a boat with pop cans and popsicle sticks, and that's what I wanted to do, and so I did. But I have some other ideas too. Anyway, so grab a couple pop cans, and you'll have to seal them shut. You'll have to seal them shut so no water gets in, and then tape them together so they stay together. And then I built a little raft out of popsicle sticks. I laid all these sticks down in a row, and then on the back side, you can see I laid down other sticks going in the other direction, and I glued them. I even put one crossways like that. And after the glue dried, it held together really well. Then I glued this raft onto the pop cans. You have to let it dry overnight. It takes a long time to dry. But then I thought, oh yeah, but this raft, boy, that'd be easy to fall off. So I found another lid and I glued it on so I had a nice place for people to sit. And then I glued on another little lid where people could stand to steer. So that's how I decided to make my boat. But then I thought, well, Oh, here it is over here. I also had 2 containers. If anyone in your family has contact lenses and you have saline solution, I had 2 containers of those, so I taped them together. And then, remember these blue lids? We've used them for painting before. They're great for putting paints on for painting, but they also make a nice boat, nice little raft. And then I thought, ooh, too easy to fall off. So then I took another one of these blue ones and I cut out the middle, and now I'm going to glue it on top. So now I have a nice little ridge on there so nobody falls off my boat. So I'll glue that together later. So that's another kind of boat. I did find all sorts of containers that I thought I could use, but these 2 are a little different, and when I tried to float them, one was higher than the other. So make sure you get 2 containers that are the same. It could even be a great big container as long as it's sealed shut tightly. And then I had some bigger cans, and I thought, ooh, this would make a neat boat. Look at that. You don't have to worry about anybody falling out then. I could even put some toys in here and float it along. And then I thought, remember a few weeks ago, I had this jar, and I didn't know what to do with it, how it would fit in with the buildings. Well, this would be perfect to go in the boat. What a great place for the people to sleep. This can be a little houseboat, and there's the door to crawl in when they sleep. So this is going to get glued inside my boat. Isn't that great? Yeah. I knew that there was a reason why I was keeping this and inviting this to be part of my kingdom. Now it's part of my boat. So we are going to end this session with a song called Get Out of the Boat. And the neat thing about this song, it also has a verse for last week's story. So I have to back up. 1. There we go. Let's see if we can sing this song. And remember, get out of the boat and walk on water does not mean to hop over the edge of the boat and walk on the water. It just means to trust God and not be afraid to try the things He's asking you to do. Okay, let's go. There was food for everyone there. Get out of the boat and walk on the water. Get out of the boat and take his hand. Get out of the boat and walk on the water. He'll be with you wherever you do. He will help you stand on the blue water of life, my friend. He will help you stand. Get out of the boat. Always like that, yeah, at the end. Well, Hope you have a great week building a boat, no matter what kind you decide to build with, whatever kind of materials you use. And may that boat remind you that Jesus is always with you, so not to be afraid. Just give it a try. Jesus promises to always be with you. Bye-bye.